Hi, everybody. This is Sharmia Brexton, CEO and co-founder of Smart Girls here. I'm just trying to add Carrie Byron, our Chief Creative Officer and former host of Mythbusters. Trying to bring her on board onto our Facebook Live here. Great. Okay, she's here, and I'm going to wave to her, and then I'm going to bring her on camera. Really exciting. Yes. Thanks for your patience, everyone. We're just trying to get our technology in order. Hold on. I'm sure you're all looking forward to having Carrie on board. We're adding her now. Connecting. Great. Hi, Carrie. Good evening. Welcome to our Facebook Live. Can you say hi? Oh, good. We can hear you fine.
Yeah.
Great. I think there's a bit of a delay. So, hi, Carrie. And hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining our Facebook Live for our WeFunder investors and for other investors and whoever else is joining us today to hear about Smart Girls and the directions we're going in, what we're doing with the company, and the exciting future that we hold in front of us. So let's see. So we only have a half an hour today, and we've got a lot of questions to go through. So we're going to take mostly a Q&A style, but I'm going to start out with just a quick 5-minute pitch, introducing the company and just giving a little bit of background as to why I started it. So for those of you just joining, hi, my name is Sharmia Brexton. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Smart Girls. I started Smart Girls mainly because of a personal problem that I had. My daughter was struggling in math, and I was trying to find unique ways to engage her. As a learning specialist, I felt that applied math might be a good way to help her. So I went out and I bought a coding robot for boys. It was a Lego Mindstorms kit. It was $250. I brought it home and I thought, okay, great. We can have some fun and I can show her to code and we can have a nice evening. And it was just a total failure. She hated using it. She hated playing with it. She hated the interface. And, at that point I thought to myself, okay, what can I do to engage her? When I started doing some research into it, what I found is that my daughter, who at that time was 8 years old, was not alone. By age 13, 65% of girls decide to lean away from STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. And that's why I started Smart Girls, to inspire my daughter and thousands and millions, hopefully, of other girls in the world to say, hey, technology is for you. You can definitely learn how to code. You can do it in a fun and unique way. And so that's how the company was born. Just a little bit about Smart Girls. Some of you might have seen us on Shark Tank. So yes, we were on Shark Tank in 2017, and we did win the show. We ended up with a deal from Daymond John, really exciting. Since then, we've done about $1.7 million in revenue. We've sold 30,000 products worldwide, and we have a 4.2 rating on Amazon. We have thousands of girls who love our products, and we're happy to say that in a few days, we're going to be launching our Smart Buddies product, which is for boys and girls in classrooms. And so what we've done is we've worked with a schools provider. They're called Pitsco. They're one of the largest schools distributors in the world. And they decided to work with us because they said, you know what, Smart Girls, yes, you're doing great strides with after school programs for girls, but we need to do something for boys and girls and get to the classrooms. And it's true. I mean, if we really want to teach coding, we've got to do it in the classrooms as well. And so we started this new product range. We've made 8 characters, 4 boys and 4 girls, all new books. The program is called Smart Buddies. You can check out our website. It's called smartbuddiesworld.com. And as I mentioned, like next week will be our world premiere for this new product line. So exciting times ahead, and we're really looking forward to working with hundreds of schools. Our plan is to be in at least 150 schools this year, and hoping to double or triple that by next year. The plans are really ambitious, but we've done a 250 student pilot study with Smart Buddies, and we're happy to say that we came out with flying colors, A++. Both boys and girls ages in the groups grades 5th to 4th and 3rd grade, actually 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders love the products, both boys and girls, and the teachers, 100% of the teachers who we surveyed also wanted to have these in the classroom. So, again, we're making strides with diversity and inclusivity in the classrooms. So let's go to the questions now that you've had a chance to, hear my 30-second pitch about Smart Girls. And this question I'm going to give to Carrie. So Carrie, one of your fans, writes to us, "Hey Carrie, why did you join Smart Girls? What was the reason that you joined, and what have you been able to add to the company so far, as far as your presence and the work that you do?"
Well, there's a few reasons I joined. One is I started my career trying to do toy prototyping. I love toys and I love educational toys. I worked on a lot of Leapfrog toys when I was first starting out as a toy prototyper at M5 Industries. I just beelined into that whole TV gig with Mythbusters. But now that I'm a mom and I have a fourth going into fifth grade little girl, she loves coding, and I really wanted to find something that would engage her. And I found Smart Girls and found out they were local. And so I reached out to see
Yeah.
if there's anything I could do to be a part of this. I personally think that the best way to get kids involved and engaged in STEM is through play. That's how I started science and started to really love science. So if we can actually engage them in their own way, actually go to them. Girls that play with dolls are going to love to code with a doll.
Definitely. Definitely. And we see that. I mean, I would say that, while we don't like to, call ourselves a doll company, at the end of the day, what we call the characters are really important, because each character, even though they maybe look a little bit like a Barbie, they're not. First of all, they're Smart Girls characters, and each one has a story attached. Each one has a name, and it has, an entire 50-page book with illustrations describing what it's like to be an engineer, to be a chemist, to be a politician, to be a mathematician. I mean, we've got all kinds of stories and characters, but they're all young leaders and very inspiring. And one of our mottos is, you can't be what you can't see. And so if kids are not seeing themselves in these roles through our books and through the media, then, how are they ever going to get inspired to become, engineers or anything else for that matter? I mean, most kids, if you ask them, what's an engineer, they have no idea. So our books breaks it down for them and makes it in a fun way, with a story and everything. So we've got, for example, one of our main characters, Jen. She's a mechanical engineer, and she does things that, a 17-year-old, mechanical engineer would do. For example, she has a little bike shop, and, she helps out, after school as an auto mechanic, but she's really interested in devices and robots and, how things work, and gears and electronics for that matter. So yeah, so we're really hoping that those stories, set in and inspire these kids.
There's a
So let's
huge gender
go
gap,
to
and
our
I live in
next question.
Silicon Valley, so I'm ready to see that filled.
Definitely. Okay, so question number 2 about Smart Buddies, and does that mean that Smart Girls is no longer focused on girls now that you have male products and products geared for boys? Is that confusing for your brand, and what does that mean for you as a company for the future? And that's a really, I mean, it's something that we struggled with, quite honestly, and something that I, spent, many nights thinking about. Well, if we include boys, what is that going to say about our company? And one thing that we have decided to do is, in the future, in the next few months, we will change the name of the company to Smart Kids, and we will continue to have products just for girls. It'll be the Smart Girls range. We'll expand it, and we'll continue to focus on that as an after-school consumer product. but Smart Buddies, we see some, great opportunities in the schools arena. We've actually been talking to a homeschool program called K-12, and there's 100,000 kids who are, learning at home. And if we can somehow provide them with coding products, both boys and girls, they can learn to code. They can learn to code at home, and get the same kind of education that that kids in the schools are getting, and with a similar kind of product, but something specially made for homeschool. So there's lots of opportunities really in the schools market. So we're excited about that, and excited to bring boys on board too, because when we started looking at it, and especially with diversity, and in order for you to really bridge the gender gap, you actually need to have boys and men with you. Women alone cannot do it. We need to actually change as a society, and everyone needs to start thinking about inclusivity and diversity in a different way, so that when you look at like CEOs of major corporations, that they're actually putting in place diversity and inclusivity programs within their diverse company. If you look, there's only like a very, very few minorities and women in top positions within Adidas. So there's a superficial look, and then there's the reality of what the company's all about, and they really need to look at their diversity and inclusivity policies. So great. Okay, I hope everyone's still on board with us in this Facebook Live. So tell us a little bit, one of our questions here is, tell us a little bit about some of the things that you want to do on the content side. We can see on your WeFunder campaign, for example, that you want to be doing some television series, and specifically you're looking at Odd Squad. So yes, we were approached by PBS, and that was very exciting for a small company like us. And PBS wrote to us and said, hey, we saw you on Shark Tank, and we're big fans of your products. So some of the kids, some of the PBS employee kids are using the products, and would you consider working with us? We have a live action show called Odd Squad, and Odd Squad is a program all about math. It's really fun. It's kind of like the X-Files for kids with math assignments. And so they approached us and said, hey, would you be interested? And we said, yes, yes, yes. So we've been working with them. We've actually signed an agreement with PBS and their the broadcast company or the entertainment company that's creating the Odd Squad program. And right now we're putting together some prototypes. If you go down to the WeFunder page, you'll be able to see some of the early prototypes of our Odd Squad consumer range. And we feel that will also go to both boys and girls. But if you look at the characters of Odd Squad, they are actually, we have a black girl who's like heading up the entire organization, and she's actually one of the youngest. We've got girls who are, kind of major agents within the organization. Like the science lab is run by a young girl. So we believe that if you really look at Odd Squad, even though there are boy characters in the program, that it is very much a female empowerment program. So yeah. And Carrie, maybe you could talk a little bit about the importance of television and why we need to have TV presence in order for us to engage these young audiences.
Well, I think we're all very aware of how important screens are in our kids' lives these days, so we might as well give them something worthwhile to look at. I can't tell you how many women have come up to me and hugged me and said, I'm an engineer today because I saw you doing it and you look like me. I think it's so important to see who you want to be on television. When I was a kid, I didn't have those kind of role models. So I'm really happy to see that we can try to create some sort of educational television using Smart Girls.
Definitely. And for us, I mean, as you also as a TV star, I mean, the power of television, right? So how is you the feedback with your fans, and also, just reflect on Mythbusters, and how it kind of dovetails into what we're doing at Smart Girls?
Well,
with
Mythbusters and
regards
none of
to
us
awareness?
were scientists. We learn to love science through play and getting our hands dirty and having hands-on
Yeah.
activities. And Smart Girls, you're actually utilizing a physical piece of hardware to learn coding as well as getting to use your screen. So I watched my kid play with it all over. Actually, she mostly tortures the dog because she likes to chase the dog around, but she
Mhm.
loves the coding aspect. She loves playing with the toy. And of course, you know, I'm going to back anything that my kid's into.
Definitely. Great. Okay, so let me see if there's any more questions. We have a question about our sales and to describe like what the sales cycle has been like for Smart Girls. So Smart Girls has primarily been a consumer product, and because we're like one of the most high-tech products for girls on the market, it's also a pretty expensive product. I mean, when you're over $50-$60 for a technology tool or an educational toy, it's quite expensive, and so parents usually wait for birthdays or Christmas. And so far, the most of our sales have taken place in fourth quarter for Christmas. And as you can imagine, as a company, that can be like quite stressful to have all of your sales, and basically, 1 month to 6 weeks time period. And Christmas has always been like a critical time, and it's also a very competitive time as well. So that's why we're excited about bringing Smart Buddies on board. I mean, as I mentioned, we've done more than 1.7 million in revenues, and so we've shown that there is a product market fit for our products. But now we're looking at different revenue streams in order for us to also stabilize the company and stabilize our revenue stream. So we will continue to do fourth quarter products. We will continue to be out there and be like, hopefully like on the top Christmas gift lists for this Christmas. But we're also going to be starting to sell into schools, and that time frame is the buying cycle is September and January. So, and for those of you joining in, also our international viewers, we're going to be, in addition to ISTE, which is in Philadelphia next week, we'll be at the BET Show, which is like the largest educational show in the world, in January. So please come out and visit us and check out our booth. We'll look forward to meeting you there. So, are there any other questions? Let me see.
I feel like this is just the beginning too, because you and I have talked about so many cool products that we can do with coding. This is just the beginning.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, it is definitely the beginning. And for us, I mean, what we're looking at is, I mean, and also when we brought it out to Smart Kids, we'll be looking at, hey, how do we look at other age groups? We've been approached by an after-school program for kids in preschool. Can we make something for them that's also, including robotics? So STEM and coding is where we're starting, but it's definitely not where we're ending. So it's just the beginning, and we've got some also, I would say, non-coding products in our pipeline. Really exciting stuff I'd love to talk about, at a later time. So one thing that I just want to end with is Girls Meet Mars. It's a little like product dream that I've had for at least a year now, and it's an exciting program. So Girls Meet Mars is our original animated series. We have like a little sizzle about it. We've made a Bible, we've made a full storyline, we've made a character analysis. And part of what we're raising funds for is to help make that dream come alive. We would love to have an animated series where we have like a female heroine and also protagonist who is looking and teaching about what it's like to live on Mars. As we know, in about 20 years or so, if Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos gets their wishes, we will actually have a pioneer world, a pioneer land on Mars. And so the kids of today need to be educated because they might be like the next ones living on Mars. So we see this as both, public awareness and, an educational possibility, but also something that could be great from a consumer products angle. And again, engaging as many kids as possible in both an animated series and a product range that supports it. So again, please check out our We Funder campaign, where you can see pictures of like the future products that we're looking at, and also some of the photos of our animated series. And if you're interested, please DM me if you want to learn more about Girls Meet Mars, because we're really excited about that project.
Yay.
So great. Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining our Facebook Live. Appreciate it. We tried to answer as many questions as possible in a short amount of time. We will be doing another one, so we'll be announcing that shortly for those of you who have missed it. But we've also saved this video, so you can watch it again if you missed this time period, or if you want to share it with friends, please do. So have a good evening, everyone. Thank you, and thank
If you have any
Carrie,
more
for joining
questions,
us
you can
today.
also Twitter, Instagram, Facebook me. I'm the real Carrie Byron on both Instagram and Facebook, and I'm Carrie Byron on Twitter. And I'll answer all of your questions or send them over to Charmy if I can't.
Okay, great. All right, thanks everybody. Good evening. Bye-bye.